Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of class 10, and today we will proceed with the chapter of power sharing. And in the previous classes we completed reading about the accommodation process in Belgium. So today we will proceed with the political systems or system that is carried out in the country of Sri Lanka. So let us proceed then. So Sri Lanka is officially the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, that means DSRS, which is an island country in the northern Indian Ocean of the southern coast of the Indian subcontinent in South Asia, and known until 1972 as Ceylon. Sri Lanka has maritime borders with India to the northwest and Maldives to the southwest. So, giving a brief introduction about Sri Lanka, we know that Sri Lanka is known as, or officially it is known as, Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is an island country in the northern Indian Ocean of the southern coast of the Indian subcontinent in South Asia. So earlier, until 1972, it was known as Ceylon, that means Sri Lanka was known as Ceylon. Sri Lanka has maritime borders with India to the northwest and Maldives to the south. Clear? Through the waterways. India is to the northwest and Maldives is to the southwest. So if we talk about the composition of Sri Lanka, here you can see Sinhala speakers are 74%. They are mostly Buddhists. That means the majority of people in Sri Lanka are the Sinhala, and they are about 74%. And if we talk about the religion, they are mostly Buddhists, and Tamil speakers are 18%. They are Hindus and Muslims. So if we talk about Tamil people in Sri Lanka, they are only 18% in comparison to the Sinhala people who are 74%. So they are Hindus and Muslims, but the Sinhala are mostly Buddhists. So you can see here in the right handmost side that Tamil speakers, which are 18%, out of that 13% are Sri Lankan Tamils, and if out of 18%, 13% are Sri Lankan Tamils, then the other 5% are Indian Tamils. This is the composition of the people living in Sri Lanka. Sinhala 74, who are mostly Buddhist, Tamil speakers 18%, they are both Hindus and Muslims, and out of 18%, 13% are Sri Lankan Tamils and 5% are Indian Tamils. Now, if we talk about Indian Tamils, from where they have come from, they migrated to Sri Lanka as plantation worker during the British rule. So if we talk about the Indian Tamils, that is 5% of the total population of Sri Lanka, that means these Indian Tamils have actually migrated to Sri Lanka. They have gone to Sri Lanka during the British rule, and during the British rule they migrated to Sri Lanka because of the fact that they migrated to Sri Lanka as a plantation worker. Clear? And if we talk about Sri Lankan Tamils, that are 13%, they are native Tamils. That means they are the Tamils of that particular country from the very beginning, but they have, or they are the minority in their own country. And the remaining 7% of the population, that means 74 plus 18, it's almost 92 to 93%. Then the remaining 7% of the population are those who are Christians and who speak both Sinhala and Tamil. So this is the overall composition of Sri Lanka, where you can see that Sinhalas are 74% and they are mostly Buddhists. Tamils are 18% out of which 13% are Sri Lankan Tamils and 5% are Indian Tamils. Now, if we talk about Indian Tamils, they migrated to Sri Lanka as plantation worker during the British rule, and Sri Lanka Tamils, who are 13%, they are the Tamils of their own country from the very beginning. And if we say 74 plus 18, that becomes 92 to 93% of the total population of Sri Lanka approx. Then remaining 7% of the population are who? The Christians. And these Christian people, who are 7% in number, they speak both Sinhala and Tamil. They can speak, or they are fluent in speaking both the Sinhala language and the Tamil language. Clear? After that, Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. Government took many steps to establish majoritarianism. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language of Sri Lanka. The preference was given to the Sinhala applicants for university positions and government. Moreover, government of Sri Lanka was insensitive to Tamil language and culture. So next we are reading after the composition. After that we have understood the composition of Sri Lanka. The second topic that comes is majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. That means who are the majority in Sri Lanka? The Sinhalas with 74%. So Sri Lanka got independence in the year 1948, 1 year after India. So the government over there, who were elected, passed an act to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. As we know that there were three groups of people. One was the Sinhala, the other one were the Tamils, who were both comprised of Indian and Sri Lankan Tamils, and lastly it was Christians also. So, but this government, as they had the majority in Sri Lanka, what they did in 1956, they passed an act according to which they gave the priority of the official language only to the Sinhala. So this was an injustice done to the other groups of people, namely the Tamils and the Christians. And moreover, the making of official language as Sinhala, after that, whatever the university positions and government jobs were there, that was also being given to the Sinhalas only. And moreover, the government of Sri Lanka, the government were formed by the Sinhalas, of course, they were totally opposing to Tamil language and culture. They were not at all interested in adopting the Tamil language and culture, which was again a very big injustice done to the groups of people living in Sri Lanka. As because firstly they made the Sinhala as the official language. After that, they reserved the university post for their own people, that is the Sinhala people, and government jobs also for their people only. So in this way they were following, or they were doing what? The process, they were implementing the process of majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Clear? After independence, Sri Lanka adopted a series of majoritarian measures. As we know that in 1956 an act was passed, what I have said it earlier, that Sinhala as the only language they have made. Then, apart from making Sinhala as the official language, the university post and government jobs, all these government jobs and university posts were reserved for the Sinhalas only. And the reasons were like that: the Sinhalas, as they were 74%, they were trying to dominate, and they were not eyeing on the other side of the people that were also there, that were Tamils and the Christians. So all this, they were actually interested in doing three things. Firstly, 1948, when they got independence, they formed the government. As they were majority, they were able to form the government. So after 8 years, they made, or they passed an act through which Sinhala was made the official language. After that, they reserved all the government posts and the university positions for their own people, that is the Sinhala. And last but not the least, as most of the Sinhalas were Buddhist, they started protecting and fostering, encouraging Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So these were the three most injustice done to the people of Sri Lanka, who were basically, the injustice done were basically the Christians and the Indian and Sri Lankan Tamils. So with this, we have come to the end of today's topic. Hope that you have understood the topic that we have read. With this, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.